Hey everyone, it's Kimberly. I hope everyone is doing well. My YouTuber buddies here. I want to talk about today. And I'm so proud of myself, by the way. Not bragging, just very proud of myself. Because today is day 10 that I quit smoking. I have been now smoke free for 10 days. That's a huge accomplishment for me, y'all. Very huge. And let me tell you, now, yes, I've been craving them. Today, the last couple of days, not so bad. I did resort to a nicotine patch that I've been using, which nothing shameful for that. If you need a little help, the way I see it, use the help. But let me share with you my story, and maybe in benefit, this might, help somebody else. Maybe you're somebody that needs to quit smoking. Maybe you want to hear somebody else's story. And I'm hoping maybe it'll benefit others to quit smoking as well. Maybe you have been a smoker and you've already quit. And that's wonderful. But let me share with you my story. And that way, again, maybe it might benefit somebody else. That's my goal. Always hope to benefit somebody. If the Lord's willing for that to happen. But let me share with you my story. And then maybe you can kind of understand. I started smoking at the age of 11. And I know that sounds young, but times are different than they are now. I know you heard your parents say the same thing, but yes, they was a bit different. At that age, you could go to a store and buy them. They had vending machines that you could go purchase cigarettes. A lot of adults purchased them for kids back then. So it wasn't an uncommon thing to start that young. Sadly. I'm really glad I have seen the world crack down on that. Because, at 11 years old, that's not an age to make choices like that. That's not an age for a kid to be controlled like that. So I'm really glad they cut down on the sales of tobacco for children due to the fact that, I was one that started at a young age. And if that had been the case back then, I might not would have been smoking at that age. So anyway, I've been smoking. Let's see, what was it? 5 years ago, I quit for 2 years, and I lost my dad, and I thought that was an excuse to start back. So, total of all, I had pretty much smoked for 40 years. I just had a birthday. I'm 52. And I'm 52 years old. My birthday was March 23rd of 2026. Just letting everybody know the year it is in case for future watchers. But I had smoked a long time. I had a lung infection, and the lung infection set me into COPD, which smoking made it 100% worse. And let me tell you, if you've never experienced COPD, if you're a smoker and you don't have COPD, stop before you get it. It's a very serious thing when you can't breathe. It's not curable. It's lifelong. And it's very scary. It's very scary when you can't get oxygen and you can't breathe. I mean, just imagine this. Okay, everybody, even when we're kids, we all hold our breaths. Hold your breath as long as you can. And just till you can't hold it no more. Well, that's what losing oxygen's like. My oxygen level was, not now. So let me go back and tell you. a little over a month ago, my oxygen level was going as low as 78. It was getting scary. I even had it in her, I think 68, I seen it. And if you've never had a COPD attack, feel lucky. Because they're scary as well. You go into breathing attacks, huffing for breath, till you can't stop. And sometimes attacks will last a few seconds, sometimes they'll last a few minutes. Sometimes you can't even come out of them. Easter last year, I wouldn't attack so bad, I couldn't come out of it. I had to go have an ambulance called for me. I had to go to the emergency room and to go get steroids by IVs, antibiotics, and stayed there till the next day. I was admitted in the hospital for that. That was last Easter. Easter is about to be here next week. Actually, a week tomorrow, Easter will be here. So, anyway, I got to the point, of course, if you've been watching my channel, I've just got over pneumonia. And I got to the point I couldn't breathe. Between the COPD attacks, was just flaring up constantly. And having the pneumonia, my oxygen level was staying way too low and I could not breathe at all. So, I'm like, I've got to quit smoking or I'm going to die. Plain and simple. If I do not quit smoking, yes, I will die. And all I could say is I was praying that it wasn't too late, that I hadn't waited too late already. That's what kind of scared me. Have I, as Kim, waited already too late to quit smoking? And I thought, well, what does it matter? I'm going to die right now as it is if I don't quit. So, 10 days ago, I smoked my last cigarette and said, forget it. I went and got some patches, put the patch on, and said, something's got to give. Now, when I quit 5 years ago, I used patches to quit. I tried several weeks ago to go cold turkey, and I just couldn't do it. I had a little relapse. Now I've been 10 days without smoking. So I'm doing great, y'all. I'm not... several days I did want a cigarette. I do not want them as much now. I mean, of course, your mind is always going to think it. I don't care if I live to be 100 years old. My mind will always think, yes, I want one. But, I was a 2-day a pack smoker. And I'm going to take a quick pause here and show y'all over all these years. Now, of course, this can go inflation. But let's say what cigarettes are. They're right at $5 a pack now. Depends on where you buy them at. But what I was paying was $10, 2 packs for about $10. I smoked the Marlboro Blacks. Was the last ones I smoked. So at that price, we'll do the math at 2 packs a day. Y'all, that's 40 cigarettes a day I was having. And so, I mean, something had to give. That's all I can say is something really had to give. So after about 3 days after quitting smoking, I noticed I wasn't hardly having no attacks at all, COPD attacks. I started breathing better. Now, it depends on the activity I'll do, because once you get COPD, it will never go away. You will always have it. So you kind of can't undo the damage once it's done. So after about 3 days, I noticed attacks stopped. We're talking about I was having a bunch of attacks a day smoking. That's the reason it was getting to the point. It was hard to even get on here at YouTube and make a video. But now, I have no problem. Now, if I was out climbing a bunch of stairs that might set me now into an attack. The attack, I did a little door dashing, this week. And one day I did have to do a big hill with several stairs. And that did send me into a small attack. Now, before I quit smoking, my oxygen level again was going to 68 to 70. 78 roughly. And then I'd have to come, the attacks would last a lot much longer. And of course, to be constantly all day. Very scary. Now, when I had the flight of stairs, I was having to go up a big hill, had to climb, did send me into a little attack this week. My oxygen level only went to, I think it was 86 during an attack. Big difference. And rarely ever have an attack now. That was very, just between the stairs and the hill, that kind of set it off. So I do have to watch kind of when I walk around. Steady pace myself. Rest is needed. I mean, this is a battle I'm going to have to now face my entire life. Just because, of course, again, yes, smoking can set you into COPD, but my lung infection actually is what set me into COPD. The lung infection was not caused from the smoking. It irritated it. And smoking completely irritated the COPD. It just sent it out of control. If I hadn't quit, I was going to die. I had done knew it. The day I walked away from cigarettes, I was really scared. I mean, just to be open, honest, I was getting very concerned, very worried. Is this going to be my last breath when you're gasping for breath? So I knew I had to make the choice. Either I was going to quit smoking or I was going to die. And I do not want to die. My husband was only 52 years old, and I buried him a little over a year ago. He died of a cardiac arrest, if you're new to my channel. And I'm not ready to go yet. I just turned 52 on March the 23rd. And I still have a lot of life to live. And I look at my husband that passed away so young, and I'm like, I'm not ready for that. And I'm sure he wouldn't, I know he wouldn't either. He didn't plan on dying at such a young age. So, anyway, first, I want to explain. Again, a minute ago, I gave you the cost of what at today's prices. Well, let me put it now in the video. I'm going to make a pause in this video, and I want to show at today's prices now, $10 a pack, what I have spent for 40 years right now. And show y'all how stupid I was. Yeah. To spend this kind of money. So let's put this up right now and show y'all what kind of money I have spent smoking 2 packs of cigarettes for 40 years. And of course, inflation can give or take. But here it is at today's prices. Y'all, that's $146,000. That's a lot of money. Y'all could have bought a new house for that. Bowling Green, Kentucky is just right up the road from my house. The Corvette Museum and Corvette plant, where they actually make Corvettes, is up the road from my house. I could have bought a brand new Corvette for that price and had money left. So, I mean, think about it. $146,000 is a lot of money saved. That's a lot of money you could put towards something else. So, you know, that gives us something to think about. Our health, having life, living, you know, being 6 feet above ground instead of 6 feet below ground is a bonus for quitting smoking or thinking about before you've never pick up one. You know, I tell my little boy all the time, please never smoke. Whatever you do in life, don't smoke. It's so bad for your health. And he's watched his mama, you know, as far as smoking, he's watched his mama and seen what it could do to him, you do to somebody. But yeah, I always like to be 6 feet above ground instead of trying to go 6 feet underground. You know, I want to live life as best as I can. You know, I know maybe I have not made the best choices in life. We're all human, and all of us, we sometimes make poor choices in life. Some people has vices of caffeine. Some people needs to lose weight. Some people, you know, needs to get off drugs. Some people, you know, needs to quit cigarettes. You know, a lot of people's got different kind of vices in life. We're all human. We all make mistakes. You know, you might go to the store and instead of choosing to buy some food that's good for you, you might choose to buy a candy bar. We're human. We make those choices. We make mistakes. But I want to tell you, this is, you know, from somebody that has done 40 years of smoking and is now on day 10 quitting. This is something I look at my health. I look at the moment I couldn't breathe. I look at those moments and say to myself, I do not want to die. I want to live. I want to live as old as I can, as old as God will let me. But I don't want to go today. And, you know, and this is my feeling. Day one, yes, I wanted one so bad. That was hard. But they say in 20 minutes, what is it? The nicotine will start coming out of your body at 24 hours. You get so much relief. But this is how I felt. But this is somebody with also COPD as well. So this may be different than if you don't have COPD. But day one, I still wanted to smoke, but I knew I couldn't. I wasn't feeling no better, no. It took me about 3 days to start actually feeling a difference. And that's for my breathing to start getting better. By day 3, I could breathe a whole lot better. Something I honestly thought was a lost cause, I was beginning to think. I can steadily start noticing it increase daily after day 3 of breathing better. I have where you can check your oxygen level. I won't show, but it's a meter reader. Well, it'll take a minute. I'll show you my oxygen level right now. But it's a meter reader. And it shows your oxygen and your heartbeat. Right now, if you can read it, my oxygen level's at 95, heart rate's at 94. So that's about, I know your oxygen level is supposed to be 99, 100, 98. Mine will hit about 95 to 98. So that's for me normally, and I keep that just because of my situation, so I keep an eye on my oxygen. So anyway, after about, like I said, day 3, I started noticing an increase of my oxygen to where I could breathe so much better. By day 5, I wouldn't have no more COPD attacks. Rarely ever, unless I have something seriously. Like waking up, my oxygen's just a little bit lower, which I use a nebulizer. And anybody with asthma, I think the same thing happens with them as well. So I'm rarely ever having to use the nebulizer, just a little here, a little there. Nothing major. Where I was using it all the time. I do have an inhaler I use, but very little. I'm having to use it. Sometimes when I do have a little cough, my coughing is completely almost gone. I want to say from, let's say 100% coughing was, to now 4% maybe in a day. So I feel like I'm hardly coughing at all. I mean, you'll get a little bit in your throat and chest where you'll cough, but not hardly at all. I think mostly mine is in the morning when I wake up and things settle in my chest, because I have a lung infection. So that's going to be a little bit more different for me than it probably is to somebody else. A minute ago, I started coughing because I got choked on a potato chip I was eating. I love Lay's baked potato chips. So, so if you hear me clear my throat, that's the reason why. But I have noticed so much of a difference in coughing constantly to now maybe 3 to 4%. Huge difference. And again, most time is waking up in the morning. And I think, like I said just a second ago, it's just where things settle down on my chest once throughout the night. So now, after all that, to day 10, breathing again is so much better. I'm planning on a trip to even Florida next week. Or actually, it's coming up this upcoming week, actually. We leave on Thursday. But I was kind of worried, how am I going to walk around the amusement parks? Because of the tax. This is before I quit smoking. Now I'm not so worried about that. Take my time and stuff, yes. Rest is needed. But I'm not so worried about that now as I was 14 days ago, let's say, 10 days ago. I really was thinking, can I do this trip because of that? And you know, that's really bad when smoking causes you such a commotion in your life that you're worried about canceling vacation plans due to the fact you don't know if you can breathe. That's really, I mean, that's when it gets serious, y'all. So anyway, again, today's my 10th day. Doing great on it. I'm going to still continue to keep updates on that. I mean, I'll do my other videos too. But I just wanted to, I felt led to get on here and share an update with y'all about being smoke-free for 10 days. I'm very proud of myself. And I'm thankful for each and every one of y'all that has been, giving me good vibes, prayers, or anything else along this journey. And I wanted to give y'all an update about it. So, this has been very hard. And if you're somebody that's trying to quit out there, I'm going to tell you it's not easy. It's nothing easy. You might find something different that helps you. You might find Chantix. You might find the nicotine gum. Or whatever else helps you in your journey. For me, it's the patches. So, but I mean, everybody's a different person, so something might be better for you. But I hope to encourage everybody that's maybe trying to quit or want to quit. It may take you several tries to quit. But guess what? If I can do it, trust me, you can do it. So anyway, thank y'all for joining me in this update. I just wanted on to get on here and share my story. So anyway, thank you for everybody for watching. Hope you have a blessed night, and let's do this journey together. Bye everyone, and see you on the next video.